Yes, baby, we got a ruling today down there from the DC Circuit Court of Appeals that Trump is not immune. There is no presidential immunity. There is none. You can go to trial, and I'm here for all the things. Now, we know, I know, you know, because we all studied civics, even though they are no longer teaching the civics down there to the churn in the classroom, that we do not have a king. We are not a nation of king and queens. We left the kingdom, okay? We left the kingdom to establish an independent state. So Trump and his legal team, in relation to January 6th, have been trying to argue that he was acting in the scope of the presidency. He was acting in his capacity as president when he tried to overthrow, or let me say, allegedly overthrow the United States government on January 6th. And that because he thought that there was some type of fraud, because the people that were around him told him there was fraud. Side note, we have a long laundry list of the official people around him that told him there was no fraud. And even if you do find fraud, it's very, very minuscule and not enough to actually change the results of the election. Baby, you lost, okay? You lost. He found people that would tell him that there were fraud, okay? And we're dealing with those as well, Don Rico and everything else. We got them to the side. But he went forward and basically decided that I'm acting in the scope of my presidency because I believe there's fraud, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Baby, with them judges, those judges went down there and slapped that down, and I'm here for it. Now, I was trying to figure out, because about last week and a half, I'm like, this is taking a long periodically time. Okay, it's taking a long periodically time for them to come back and let us know yes or no if he has presidential immunity, when it seems as though it should be very cut and dry, because again, we are not a nation of kings. Okay? So I was confused on what was taking so long, and so all the, the political experts or the legal experts that were on TV were hypothesizing that maybe it's taking so long because there is some type of dissent. It's a three-court judge panel, and so maybe there are two that are on the same page, and maybe there's one that's not. And sometimes when there is dissent among the justices, and the higher you go up in the court system, if you will, like Court of Appeals, a Supreme Court, it can take a longer time for a decision to come down, because they then confer with themselves. They try to give each other arguments. They have conferences. They share their briefs or what they're thinking about in their writing, so that the other judge or justice can read it, and maybe they convince them to come to each other's side, whether it be like striking something down or upholding something. They confer and decide, and then ultimately they make their decision on how they want to issue the judgment, or what the decision is amongst the judges. So that's what people were thinking, that maybe there's a split decision. And if there was a split decision, then maybe it's going to be more likely that the Supreme Court would take it up, because we know that's what Trump wants anyway, because remember, he picked 3 justices, or those were his justices. And so not only does it work into his delay tactics, because we know he loves to delay, right? Run the clock out. Was running the clock out on people when he was just a regular citizen, and then people couldn't afford to keep suing him when he was stiffing them for money. I still don't know how y'all voted for him, knowing that he was a crook then, but that's another story for another day. We were thinking that there was some type of split decision. Oh, but baby. Oh, there's no split decision. There's no split decision. It was unanimous. It was unanimous. All 3 justices in the DC Circuit Court of Appeals have agreed that Trump does not have presidential immunity. Okay? There's no such thing. Okay? You are a normal citizen. Okay? Okay? And you are not, or were not, acting in the capacity or the scope of the presidency. State courts have basically sided on this when we're talking about the infrastructure or the people around him that were pushing the theory and trying to do the things that they wanted to do, have not affirmed that you all were acting in the scope of your official capacity. Look at Mark Meadows trying to get his court case, that RICO down there in Georgia, trying to get that thrown out because he insinuated, or his lawyers insinuated, that he was acting in the capacity of his office as the chief of staff to the president. Baby, them people down there said, no, ma'am, Pam. The people said, no, ma'am, Pam, no. You're not going to move your court case, Mark Meadows, from Georgia to the federal court. No. It's going to stay right here because you were not acting within your scope of capacity. Or, wait, did I say that right? You were not acting in the capacity of your scope. There we go. You were not acting in such a way. And neither was Donald Trump. Donald. I know, you know, we know you're lying. Okay? You're lying. However, it's a part of the Donald Trump playbook to delay. He has already been using these court cases as a political talking point to say it is somehow a continued witch hunt against him when we all saw what happened in January 6th. We all saw you tell them it's going to be a wild ride on then Twitter. We all saw you tell those people we're going to march down to the Capitol and you got to fight like what? Okay, so we saw that. We know what it is. We saw that. So no, that wasn't an official capacity of the office of the presidency. You are not immune at all. But if he delays this even further, which he already has, because I think the original court case with Judge Chunkin and Jack Smith was supposed to start in March. It's already been delayed because of the court appeals process. So they are sending it back down. We did get that. They're sending the case back down. I'm sure he's going to either appeal to the full circuit Court of Appeals or even try to step by. What is going on with my words? Step by them and try to go directly to the Supreme Court. Now, if the Supreme Court takes it, then, you know, there's more delay. You know what I'm saying? Even if the full appellate court takes it, there's more delay for the initial court case to begin because they would be arguing this idea of presidential immunity, which Judge Chunkin, the original trial court judge, said, no, ma'am, Pam, that's not a thing. And now the DC Circuit Court of Appeals said, no, ma'am, Pam, that's not a thing. But if he continues to appeal, there lies the delay, which then pushes us further and further into the actual election. And nobody, not even Nikki Haley, is confused about the fact that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president in the 2024 election. So he gets to use that as a way to reinforce the lie, but make it feel real that this is election interference and that it's a witch hunt and people just don't want him to be president because they're throwing all these court cases at him in the middle of a whole election, which I'm mad at the fact that he even has the opportunity, because why did it take so long? Why did it take so long, Justice Department, to even get the ball rolling? What's really good? Why we didn't do this a year after the insurrection? Why did it take so long? But that's another story for another day. It's another story for another day, because I am confusion. I am confusion, baby. The same way y'all going after these people with the PPP. They lied on their PPP quick, fast. Why did it take so long? But, you know, we're here. So I'm just excited that the DC Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the ideal and the principle of America, because it is very clear once again, because we've all taken civics, that we are not a nation of kings. We are a nation of laws, even though some people get to break the law and y'all just keep moving. But again, that's another story for another day. But here, we got it right. Here, on this land, we got it right today. So, you know, it's a good day for America. It's a good day. It's not sad. It's not somber. It's a good day for America that the rule of law is being upheld, and that at least up until this point, Trump is being held accountable. Now, will he get the full and total accountability? That is yet to be seen. And will the Supreme Court take this case up because we know he's going to appeal? That is yet to be seen. But as of today, there's an affirmation that we are not a nation of kings.